In this video, I'm going to show you how to get cinematic shots using the Cinepeer CM15. This is a brand new pocket RGB light from Zhiyun, and they're actually the sponsor of today's video, so I just want to say a huge thank you to them for supporting the channel. And the Cinepeer CM15 is currently 10% off on the official Zhiyun store in Amazon, and you can use my discount code VICTOR2024 to get an additional 10% off your purchase. And you can use this discount code on all Zhiyun products until November 30th of 2024. So if you're looking for any other lights or stabilizers, now's a great time to get it. Real quick, let me run you through the modes. The first mode is CCT, or correlated color temperature. You can make the light cooler or warmer between 2700 Kelvin and 10,000 Kelvin, and also make the image more green or magenta. And dim adjusts the brightness on all the modes. HSI mode stands for hue, saturation, intensity. This mode you can essentially get any color you would like and adjust the saturation and brightness. RGB stands for red, green, blue, so you can combine these to make different colors. And last is the effects mode, which have a bunch of different cool lighting effects. For example number 1, I use the cold shoe mount and attach my CM15 directly to my camera to create this surreal, nostalgic feel. And I use the RGB mode to make the light like a deep red, and I felt like it contrasted really well with the dark blue skies. And the reason I would consider this look surreal is because as a viewer, you can tell that I have a light attached to my camera. So it's not necessarily like a practical light that is motivated by anything. I just thought this would be a fun way to express memories or something that would be straight out of a dream. So maybe if you do want to create a dreamlike sequence or like an early 2000s type feel to your sequence or your film, then attaching the light directly on your camera and using a color that contrasts well with your background can be a really fun cinematic look. For this next scene, I actually used 2 Cinepeer CM15s, which if you do have the budget, I think having 2 can be a fun way to kind of experiment and create a split tone lighting scene. So in this case, I used red and blue, and I put one on each side of my frame. I turned off all my other lights, so these are the only light sources in the room. And now, as you can tell, it creates this like really fun split tone contrasty look. So if you're making a film project where maybe you want to show your character torn between one decision or another, you can kind of create this split tone look to express that feeling. For this next scene, I walked into frame, and as you can tell, the background is a cool blue while my face has a warmer tone. So the first CM15, I used the HSI mode to create this cool blue light, and then I attached it to my C-stand and pointed it at the wall. And then my second light, I used the color temperature mode and set it to 2500 Kelvin to make it warm. And then I got a small rig articulating arm and a super clamp, and I attached one end to the light and then clamped the super clamp to my C-stand, but I angled it more out and overhead while the blue light is angled towards the wall. So this was a cool way to kind of create some contrasting tones. With this scene, I like that the 2 colors kind of separate me from the background and make me as a subject stand out more. And while experimenting, I just turned off the background light and slowed down my shutter speed, and it created this harsh overhead light, which made for this anxious and hallucinative type scene. So don't be afraid to experiment. For this next shot, I wanted to get a silhouette. So all I did was I got my CM15 and aimed it at the wall to give it a nice color. And then by stepping into the frame, because the light's not pointed at me, you're just seeing my silhouette, which can be really cool if you want to introduce a character with some mystery. Now, if you are already working with larger lights, you can also just use these as nice accent lights. So for example, this product shot, I have my Zhiyun Mollis G200 and a softbox, and it's going directly overhead. So it's kind of creating this soft light over my product. And then I just waved the Cinepeer CM15 over the subject, and it creates this cool reveal. So overall, the Cinepeer CM15 is a very versatile little light just because it's so small, so you can put it a bunch of different places. And one of my initial concerns with this light was the battery life. Zhiyun states that the CM15 will last 35 minutes when the light is at 100% brightness, which seemed a little short for me. However, for a majority of these scenes, I was actually only setting the brightness anywhere from 10% to 80%. So majority of the time, because I'm not using the light at 100% brightness, I did find that it lasted a bit longer than that 35-minute time frame. And if you know you're going to be shooting all day with it, you can actually use the USB-C cable to keep the battery powered while you're using it. So anyways, that is it for this video. I just want to say a huge thank you for watching, and let me know in the comments down below what your favorite lighting setup was, and I'll see you in the next one.